What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and for today's WWE news video, holy shit, there is quite a bit to talk about, including the latest on Johnny Gargano visiting the Performance Center? Wonder what that could be about. A top NXT superstar is injured, wonder what the injury is, we don't know. Cody Rhodes apparently bringing back a classic championship design? Why? Why would Cody Rhodes want to do that? And this first one that I'm going to be talking about, Kushida has quit WWE. And apparently we have found out why. The news had broke earlier, this past week, that Kushida had left WWE, and ironically enough, he had signed a 3-year deal with WWE, which dated back to 2019, was like 7, 8, maybe 9 months before the pandemic started. And as far as we know, WWE's initial belief is that Kushida had planned on leaving WWE to go back to New Japan Pro Wrestling later on this coming June. And apparently, now the reason for his departure has been revealed. So Joe Lanza of the flagship wrestling podcast, big shouts to them, no copyrights, you guys know how this works with the algorithm. Kushida apparently had stayed in touch with some of the superstars of New Japan Pro Wrestling after leaving WWE, or actually rather after leaving for WWE in 2019. Apparently had shown displeasure at the way that he was being booked in NXT since the whole 2.0 thing came around in September of last year. Talking about the whole Jacket Time team up with Ikeman Jiro, and apparently he didn't like it. He wasn't enjoying it, and apparently because of that he ended up deciding to leave. Apparently and supposedly he didn't fancy his chances of becoming a major star in WWE, but he took a crack at American wrestling, obviously being WWE, while he was still in his prime, in his career, and amongst the reasons for his initial departure from New Japan, it was a general feeling of stagnation, if you will, in the junior heavyweight division, and a lack of opportunities for him to compete as a heavyweight, if you will. So it's mainly because of that. But not only that, as far as you guys are well aware, he's a multi-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, and people forget that he has a sort of like an MMA aspired background, if you will. And apparently he was interested in dropping his Back to the Future inspired gimmick, which was what he used to debut in NXT, potentially working as a heel, joining a faction, or even starting a faction of his own, and doing a MMA and having a MMA inspired like character. if you will. But unfortunately, that did not work out. That did not work out so well. But Lanza noted that that Kushida's friends in New Japan were treating his return as a given. And apparently, nothing as of now. Nothing is guaranteed. As he's still a free agent, and we don't really know if he'll go back to New Japan or if he'll go somewhere else. So, and the funny thing is that Kushida had left WWE at the end of his contract, rather than being released ahead of it. Meaning now he's not bound to a non-compete clause like a lot of the other stars had. But I gotta admit, it's kind of sad, you know. I mean, even though he's a former cruiserweight champion, he could have done more. He could have done more in NXT, and he could have become, you know, possibly North American champion, and he could have went on to the main roster and become, you know, a major player in WWE, you know, a major threat. But it just didn't come. It just didn't come to pass. As far as Ike Manjiro, he is injured, but we don't really know. We don't know much about the injury. All we know is that he'll be out for about a month because of the attack by Von Wagner, who has been fined a undisclosed amount and suspended for, I think, what was it, for 60 days, for like 60 days or something like that. But of course, knowing Robert Stone, he'll probably do what he can to get rid of the suspension, which is kind of stupid. Honestly, I would just let Vaughn deal with the suspension. Let him deal with it. But Kushida leaving WWE, it's unfortunate. Big shouts to him. Best of luck to him in his future. Don't really know what's next for him, but we will see. We will see in the future. And if you guys hear music in the background, I've got Zelda's Lullaby, the ancient tune from Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. I do apologize for it. Mental health can really kick in the ass, if you will. But it's like the only thing to keep me calm. Anyway, to be honest. But anyway, which NXT star has been taken out with an injury? That would be Io Shirai, and apparently she was spotted with a medical boot, and apparently she was on crutches as well, sparking speculation that the former NXT Women's Champion is currently injured. Apparently Sean Slate, big shout out to Sean Slate, no copyrights. You guys know how it works with the algorithm. Had went on to Twitter and posted photos of Io Shirai with some friends, including SmackDown superstar Shinsuke Nakamura, and of course Joshi standout Hiroyo Matsumoto. If you guys remember her, she was a part of the second Mae Young Classic in 2018, which was inevitably won by Toni Storm, who is now with AEW, which is kind of sad, to be honest. But she was sporting a a medical boot during that time. But we really don't know how how the injury came about. I'm assuming it had something to do with it had something to do with the match that she had at Stand and Deliver, which was a fatal four-way match between her, Kaylee Ray, or I guess now a new name. I don't remember the name of it. The new name, which is kind of stupid. Cora Jade and the apparent and the eventual winner, Mandy Rose, for the NXT Women's Title. Apparently, Io had took a nasty bump to the outside at one point, which forced her to wear the boot. I honestly don't know. A part of me is like, it's kind of weird because you guys know over the last like 3-4 months maybe, and the NXT commentary booth had moved from the right side of your screens where the commentators normally would sit. Like, how can I put it? If you're watching Raw or SmackDown, you guys know the commentary booth would be on the right side. But with NXT, they decided to put it right in front of the ring. Right, you guys get the point. You guys get the point. But why they did that, I've got no clue. But I guess it's to put more people in hospitals. I've got no clue. But honestly, I don't have anything else to say except just gonna wish Io Shirai a speedy recovery. Don't really know what's next, but we will find out. We will find out in the upcoming months. But as far as Johnny Gargano, apparently he was spotted at the Performance Center with a very special guest. That special guest is none other than his son, Quill. And you guys are wondering, Quill? What the fuck? Yeah. I was asking myself the same question, and then I realized that his wife, Candice LeRae, is a avid Pokemon fan, and it got me thinking. There's only one. There's only one with Quill in its name, Cyndaquil, or Quilava, to be more accurate. Yeah, I was just as shocked as you guys were, honestly. But apparently he decided to take a break away from making adorable vlogs with his baby and his wife at Walt Disney World in Orlando, and of course streaming on his Twitch channel, which I don't have, obviously. Gargano decided to go back to the Performance Center with his son Quill to visit some old friends. And of course, Malcolm Bivens decided to go to Twitter and posted a photo of those two together with the caption saying, "Fatherhood whooping his ass." And Gargano's face was just like, this was Johnny Gargano's face, and Malcolm Bivens' face was just like, just a big old smile and a big old thumbs up. I'm looking at it like, really? You're gonna pull that shit on him? apparently he was written off. He was written off, and he was written off at NXT after the assault by Grayson Waller. But that's not the case. He was actually, his contract with WWE had expired, and elected to not re-sign. Apparently he has not strayed far from fans' minds, however, with the different Johnny Wrestling chants popping up, with Gargano himself continuing to ponder his future options. That was on the night that his contract had expired. He stated that he planned to take time off for paternity leave, but ended up having the itch to return to the wrestling world again. And he appeared at WrestleCon in Dallas over WrestleMania weekend, funny enough. So we don't really know if he'll ever decide to come back to WWE. I know that I had talked about this before on the channel, but I talked about how Gargano had thoughts of wanting to go back, come back to WWE, but we're not really sure if he will come back or not, because of the fact that his contract had expired and elected to not re-sign. And by that logic, you would think that he wouldn't be able to come back. That's not the case. That's not the case. He can come back at any time. I'm sure that WWE had wrote up a contract for Gargano if he decided to return, which is a possibility. But I know they did the same for Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and for several other top major stars who had left WWE to go elsewhere, including Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is another guy that also had also elected to not re-sign, which is kind of unfortunate. But I'm glad that I was able to call a lot of his matches here on the channel, including his match at Takeover 36, where he had battled Karrion Kross to win his third title in NXT. I mean, there's just not a whole lot to say about it, honestly. There really isn't. There's not a whole lot to say except it's kind of unfortunate, honestly, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna complain. I am not going to complain about it, except that if Gargano does come back, that'll be awesome. I think he would fit so well with the main roster, just like what they're doing with Tommaso Ciampa. They're having him come back. They're having him on the main roster, which is kind of weird, because I had talked about it before. I think it was like 2 years, like maybe a year or two ago. I had talked about how Ciampa was asked about competing on the main roster, and he said the day that happens would be the day that I retire, which I get it. I totally get it. It was because of his neck injuries, but this time around, I guess he had a change of heart, so to speak. But this now brings us to the last thing I'm going to be talking about, and apparently Cody Rhodes is teasing the return of a fan favorite championship. Or I guess rather a championship design. But what is that design? If you guys remember or heard of the stories, Two-time WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan had won the WWE title from the Iron Sheik at a house show in Madison Square Garden on January 1st, 1984. In January of 1984, somewhere around there, he had defeated Iron Sheik to win the WWE title. He held the title for 4 years until he lost it to Andre the Giant, which he then gave the title to the Hall of Famer, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. At that time, because of what happened, because of the whole referee confusion and all that bullshit, WWE president at that time, Jack Tunney, decided, you know what, fuck this, hand me the title, we're gonna have a tournament. The tournament took part of WrestleMania 4, and it was a one-night only tournament. The winner would become WWE champion. The finals would be DiBiase versus fellow Hall of Famer Macho Man Randy Savage, which Savage ended up becoming the winner. The title that was awarded to him was the Winged Eagle design, and I'm gonna show it to you guys on Instagram. Give me 1 second, guys. I literally would have to go to Cody's Insta. Oh, never mind. I guess not. He had teased it on his on his Instagram, but I guess not. Oh, here it is. It's not from his Instagram, as in he posted it. But this was a photo that was posted by a fan. Not sure if you guys could see it, but it's the winged. That's the Winged Eagle. Hold on. Let me do it this way. There we go. That's the Winged Eagle title from 87, 88 or something like that. But yeah, that's the design, and apparently he wants to bring it back. Supposedly, but for some reason, Wrestle Talk, big shout out, no copyrights, is how I was getting this article, how I got this article anyway. They called Cody Rhodes up and coming WWE star, but he's a fucking legend, man. Come on. Anyway, but you guys know over the years, Rhodes had been pretty open about the Winged Eagle title, about the Winged Eagle design, which served as the WWE title back in the 80s and 90s, and it was one of his favorite designs as well, even ours as well, so it's possible that we could see it come back, but he had took to Twitter saying teasing it, saying, meeting earlier today, I was asked, what's the big picture? To which I replied, Winged Eagle. He also took to Twitter and asked and answered a question from a fan, which asked, what is your favorite old school wrestling championship title design? #Kiss the Ring. Rhodes replied saying, NWA television title, Winged Eagle, meaning the Winged Eagle WWE title. And somebody had asked him again, had asked him the same question with the exact same answer, the Winged Eagle and the NWA Red and Silver TV title. Literally, everybody kept asking him that question. maybe we'll see it come back, but I highly doubt it because of the fact that mainly because of the fact that the title represented represented the new generation era as it was dubbed, with guys like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and and of course too Undertaker, and who else can I think of, Lex Luger, Owen Hart, Roddy Piper, some of the the legends and the Hall of Famers of the business. That was what the title represented. Now, now the WWE title that we have now is a representation of the future. It represents, stars from NXT potentially winning that title and potentially becoming Hall of Famers themselves, which is a possibility, but only time will tell. But as far as this goes, if Cody Rhodes brings it back, it's a possibility, but it can only happen if Cody Rhodes were to win the WWE title, or I guess rather the undisputed WWE Universal title off of Roman Reigns, which is a possibility. But Roman Reigns, he's like above everyone else right now. So if Cody Rhodes can somehow beat Roman Reigns, that would be impressive. But there's no... Don't get me wrong, no disrespect to Cody, but there is no way in hell that he can beat Roman Reigns on the level that Reigns is on now. It is almost impossible, but who knows? There could be somebody out there in the world that can beat Roman Reigns. It could even be me for all we know. Who knows, right? But that brings me to the question of the day. Do you guys want to see Johnny Gargano back in WWE? And if so, what brand should he go to? Let me know down in the comments below. And that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. And if you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more WWE news videos, which typically get posted every Thursday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And as always, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. All the links will be in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you guys want to send me and you guys want me to open it up on the channel, all the info will be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.